everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. Okay, so, you don't need anything on your desk except for a pencil. First, we're going to review what we've got going on this week. We have our first start no homework this week. So that means no planner checks. And then tomorrow, remember, we have our assessment on Study Island. What's it going to be over? Sunshine. What's our assessment going to be over tomorrow?
What we covered through the class.
In colonization, right? What we've covered so far. Okay? And then Friday, we're going to start forces and stability and gravity in science class. So that's going to be a really fun lesson. But today, remember yesterday, we took the pre-test on 13 colonies, right? Yeah. Okay, what I want you to do real quick is give me a thumbs up if you think you got them all right. If you think you got every single one of them right, I want you to be honest. Okay. If you think you got some of them right, but I don't know, give me a sideways thumb. And then I want a thumbs down if you think, I have no clue, I was lost, I don't know them at all. Come on, I want to see your fingers. Giles, what about you? How do you feel you did yesterday? Yeah. I know that was hard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So today, we're going to learn about the 13 colonies, okay? I have your I can correctly identify the 13 colonies. So hopefully after today, we're going to know what the 13 colonies are. Okay. So I have the graphic organizer on your desk. Don't worry about the bottom box for now. Just fill in the top half. Okay? This part, when we'll pause and talk about stuff. Make sure your name is wrote on your paper and your homeroom teacher's initials. Okay? Okay. So we're going to watch this brain pop. Make sure you pay very close attention because I'm going to be pausing the video throughout and I'm going to be asking y'all some questions. And guess what? I have the dojo up and it's going to hit random and whoever it picks is going to be answering. So you better pay close attention. Okay?
9, 10, 11, 12, missing one. Georgia, thank you. Dear Tim and Moby, what were the 13 colonies? From Brett. The 13 colonies were a group of English territories established in America during the 1600s and early 1700s. They were Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. And I want you to turn your heads over to this map. Okay? Our first colony starts up here in New Hampshire. And remember yesterday on your pre-test it had a 1. Oh, bless you. It had a 1 and it had an arrow up here to Maine. Because at this time, Maine was part of the Massachusetts colony. Okay? So you start it, and you're all on the East Coast. You have New Hampshire, you have Massachusetts, you have Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. And those are your 13 colonies. Okay? And remember, they're all on the East Coast.
Right, these eventually became the original 13 United States. But before that, there were just a few of the many European colonies popping up all over North America. No, settlers weren't just coming from England. Starting in the late 1500s, people from all over Europe, places like Spain, France, Sweden, and the Netherlands, headed to the New World for different reasons. Some were escaping religious persecution, and others came in search of wealth. But they all wanted a chance at a better life.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there. So he said some are coming here because of religious persecution. What does persecution mean? Logan?
Maybe it means freedom?
Maybe. Let me read you the definition of persecution, and then I want to see what you all think. Persecution means hostility or ill treatment, especially because of race or political or religious beliefs. So remember yesterday in class we were talking about some of the people moving here, and they all wanted what, Alexis?
Religious freedom is probably where they didn't get to pick what they wanted their religious to be and didn't practice the religious.
Yes, she's right. They all wanted religious freedom. And in New England, they had to follow what the king wanted, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have a choice. And that's why so many of them were wanting to come over here, because they wanted to choose their own religion. And they wanted to practice their own religion. So, good job, Alexis.
These settlers claimed land and established colonies, mainly along the East Coast. Well, the East Coast was closest to Europe, and they came by boat. The first permanent English settlement in North America was the colony at Jamestown, established in 1607. That's in present-day Virginia. The Pilgrims followed in 1620, establishing a settlement at Plymouth, in what is now Massachusetts. Over the next 100 years, more English colonies sprang up all along the Atlantic coast, from New Hampshire in the north to Georgia in the south. Meanwhile, France gained control of much of present-day Canada and the American Midwest. The two empires squared off for control of North America in the French and Indian War from 1754 to 1763. England won the war. It got control of Canada and strengthened its hold on the 13 colonies. Most colonists identified themselves as British citizens. They bought goods from British factories and kept up on news from England. Wealthy colonists copied British styles in clothes, dancing, and social etiquette. And the colonies all had local governments modeled after English political institutions.
Okay, so let's stop there. Why do you think, when the British moved to the new colonies, why do you think they were still wanting to keep up and read the newspapers of what was going on in England? And why do you think they still dressed the way they did when they moved here? I mean, they had freedom to do what they want, so why do you think, and I'm going to put the random on, let's see who it picks. Amy, why do you think? Why do you think they still did that stuff when they moved to the new colonies?
Like what they did, or
Okay, well, think about it. When I moved from Arizona to Kentucky, and when I lived in Burkesville, there were no Mexican restaurants. But I didn't change the way I ate just because I moved from Arizona to Kentucky. I mean, I couldn't go out and buy my own Mexican food, but I could make my own tacos, right? Yeah. They were keeping up with their traditions. I mean, that's what they knew. It was their culture. So they just brought it with them, right? Yeah. Nice try. Okay. Let's go on.
Still, they had their own unique identities. Many colonists living in the New England colonies, which included Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, came to America.
Okay, let's pause it here. And on your paper, you need to write some notes down. We have New Hampshire. We have Massachusetts. We have Connecticut. And we have Rhode Island. Okay? And these form the first region of the New England colonies. Of 13 colonies, it's the New England colonies. You have a question, Gracie?
what was the second one? The second one?
I'm going to show you up on the board in a second. New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Let me show you a saying that's going to help you remember this. Never make Cassie run. New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Okay? And I'll give you time to write these down at the end. We're going to go on.
To practice their own religion. Most became small farmers who grew enough crops to feed their families and trade for goods that they couldn't make themselves. Some took advantage of the rich fishing waters off the Atlantic coast and became fishermen. And others became wealthy merchants, buying and selling products to support the growing farming and fishing populations. Before long, New England became a major center of trade and commerce, with goods passing through port cities like Boston on their way to England, the Caribbean, and elsewhere. Just south of New England were the middle colonies of Delaware, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey.
Okay, so then again, we have, this is my favorite one, the same. New pennies, new dimes. Okay, you have New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Okay, you have New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Real quick, I'm going to show you this. You got New Hampshire, you have Massachusetts, I'm in my way, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. And these are your New England colonies. Okay, and then your second ones you have, what was the saying? New pennies, new dimes. So you got new pennies, and then here's New Jersey and Delaware, new dimes. Oops, you got part of Maryland in there. So new pennies, new dimes. And that's your what? All together. Middle colonies. Okay. Oh.
These colonies were known for their ethnic diversity. Dutch, Irish, and German immigrants made up a big part of their populations. Like their neighbors in New England, the residents of the middle colonies did very well in farming and trade. They produced and exported so much wheat that they became known as the breadbasket of the colonies.
Remember
And
that.
port cities like New York and Philadelphia grew into bustling centers of commerce filled with merchants, artisans, and laborers. Factories in these cities churned out textiles, paper, and iron, making the middle colonies the most industrial of the original 13.
Okay, so did you hear that? The middle colonies were the most industrial colonies of the 13. What's textile mean? That's a word I haven't really heard before. You know what it is, Mike?
Can I take a guess?
You can take a guess.
It doesn't mean they make stuff that the other colonies didn't.
No, textile is clothes. These factories were making clothes. That's what textile is. For future reference. Go on.
The southern colonies included Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia.
Okay, so pause it there. We have the southern colonies. Here we go. My vehicle needs some gas. It really does. Okay, remember that. My vehicle needs some gas. And we have, get a different color. We have Maryland, my vehicle, or mine. Then we have Virginia, vehicle. North Carolina needs, South Carolina, some, Georgia, gas. Okay, so we have Maryland to Georgia. And those are known as what? The southern colonies. Okay, good job. Let's go on.
Life in these colonies revolved around huge farms called plantations, which were owned by a few wealthy landowners. Agriculture ruled the economy. Cash crops like rice, tobacco, and cotton were grown and sold to buyers in the colonies, the Caribbean, and Europe. A large part of the plantation workforce was made up of African slaves who began arriving in 1619. By 1750, slaves accounted for 40% of the southern colony's population. Well, despite all these differences, the American colonists eventually agreed that they should govern themselves. They were paying a lot of money in taxes to England and getting very little in return. The tax issue made people start talking about revolution. In 1775, the colonies united to battle the British in the Revolutionary War. After that, the colonies became known as the United States of America. What do you mean you're done? What did you do to my map of the 13 colonies? I can't turn that in. Alaska and Hawaii. Get out of here.
Okay, so
9, 10, 11, 12, missing one.
okay, so we determined that these were the southern were called what? I want to raise hand. What were these crops called? Someone I haven't called on yet, Gracie. Okay, that's not the word I'm looking for, but... Go ahead, James. Cash crops. That's the main thing you need to know about the southern colonies is they had these cash crops. They had wheat, they had corn, they had all kinds of stuff that they were sending out and bringing money in. They're called cash crops. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. If you don't have all these filled out in your graphic organizer, I want you to take a second and do that, okay? Then, I'm going to give you 7 minutes. Pay attention to directions. I'm going to give you 7 minutes, and we're going to do this bottom half, okay? This is going to be your assessment for the day. This is going to be done individually. What is it, Logan?
The spelling count.
The spelling count? On this, yes. This part, yes. This part, I'm not going to count you off for spelling. Okay? The bottom part, let me read it to you, okay? It says, how are the colonists' reasons for coming to America similar to those of immigrants today? Okay? So, I'm going to put the timer up for 7 minutes. Don't worry about your top half because you'll still have time to finish that. I'm going to give you 7 minutes. I want you to work on your bottom half individually. Your time starts now. When you are done, raise your hand and I have another activity for you, okay? So I should see all of you working on that bottom half.
How many colonists' reasons for coming to America similar to those of today's immigrants? Think about the immigrants coming from Mexico to the United States. Why are they coming? What are they coming for the United States though to? No, think about what. And what else? They're coming here because they want to do that for themselves. Good job, Charles. Kyle, you should be writing something better.
Think about immigrants, guys. It doesn't have to just be someone coming from England. Think about immigrants coming from Mexico to the United States. What are reasons why they come? That might help with this question. Remember, if you're done, I want you to raise your hand because I have a fun activity for you. You done something? You have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Okay, I have one person. Are you still working on your list? Time's up. So I need you to finish up your answer. I'll be around to pick it up, and as soon as I get the last test, I have a fun activity planned for us. Okay?
That's okay. I'll play it.
Okay. These word searches are yours to keep. So if you have free time and you feel like you want to finish it, you can. But now, what we're going to do is, there is one dry erase board at your table. Before everybody starts grabbing it, wait a minute. I want one person from the table, and I'm going to pick who it is, that's going to write on the board, okay? You're going to work as groups to answer each question. You're going to write on your board, and you're going to show me the answer, all together as a class, okay? So, Amy, you're going to work with, and if you want to slide in with them, or if you want to be your own, that's fine, whatever you want to do. Timmy, do you want to write? James can. Sunshine, if you want to go sit with them, you can. Okay, stand down. And Cal, you can write. Okay, so we're going to start this quiz. I'm going to turn one of the lights down so we can see questions. Okay, are you ready? So I'm going to read a question to you. And we're waiting on it. It's kind of slow. Okay, United States, or D, Portugal? So as a group, decide on an answer. I'm going to give you 8 seconds. I'm going to give you 8 seconds. Your time starts now. Just put the letter to the answer. Work as a group. Oh, I didn't start. Okay. I want to see everybody's answers. Hold them up. Kyle? Okay, I see a few correct answers. I see a few incorrect answers. Amy, why did your group decide C? The 13 colonies are in the United States now, but at this time, did the United States exist?
No. It was the New World.
No. They came to the New World. So, the 13 colonies were ruled by Great Britain. Okay, erase your boards. Number 2. Which of the following states was among the original 13 colonies? The original 13 colonies. A, Ohio. You all shouldn't be discussing answers till I say go. B, New Jersey. C, Mississippi. Or D, Kentucky. Your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let me see your boards. I can't see yours, Kyle. What's it say? Just tell it to me. You all decided B? Good job. It is B. It's New Jersey. Okay, number 3. What can you infer about the life in 17th century Europe from the information presented in the movie? Okay, so A, there were no economic opportunities for anyone. B, democracy was a popular idea there. C, religious persecution was common. Or D, people enjoyed taking long sea voyages. Think about the video. Your time starts now. Make sure you write your answers big enough so I can see them. Okay, time's up. Let me see your boards. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Okay. Again, you all are right. Good job. Okay, number 4. How were the New England colonies different from the Mid-Atlantic colonies? The Mid-Atlantic colonies were more ethnically diverse than the New England colonies. B, the New England colonies had farms, the Mid-Atlantic colonies had none. Or C, the Mid-Atlantic colonies had large port cities, the New England colonies did not. Or D, the New England colonists supported revolution, the Mid-Atlantic colonists did not. Your time starts now. Come on. Hurry, hurry, hurry. If your answer's not up, we're going to move on. Time's up. I have a D, a D, a D, 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 D. We all have D's. Let's see if you're right. The New England colonists supported revolution, and the Mid-Atlantic colonists did not.
B. B. It's C. It's C. It's C. It's C. C.
Oh. Yeah. Come on, guys.
She's a smart one.
We're gonna review over that here in a minute. Okay. What did the original settlers of the 13 colonies have in common? A, they were all seeking religious freedom. B, they were all seeking economic opportunity. D, they all believed in democracy. Or D, they were all in search of a better life. Time starts now. Time's up. Let me see your boards. D, A. What was yours, James? A. Okay. Remember when we talked about yesterday that some of the colonists were coming across, or some some of the British were coming to look for gold? Where was
Yeah.
that
Jamestown.
Was that?
They thought it was in Jamestown, but it wasn't.
Right. There was no gold in Jamestown, right, Logan?
Right.
But they were in search of gold, which they later found the tobacco, right? That they sold to make money, and that's why it was called Virginia gold. But what about the other ones that moved here in search of something else? They weren't searching for money.